do additional research for closings so that you could say, did you consider this closing that is close apples to apples to the property, the subject property? You know, which units did you use to come up with your appraised value? So you'd want to work with the appraiser on that.
And so you're challenging them, sort of.
You're challenging them in a very nice way, because you either represent the buyer who wants the appraisal at purchase price so they can get their loan and purchase the property, or you represent the seller who wants to sell and have the buyer's loan funded so that they can close and get their proceeds. So regardless of who you are,
You're wanting it to
close, so you're trying to identify, is there something that was missed? Could we provide them with better information? It is rare that an appraiser will change their valuation, but sometimes it happens. All right, closing information. You want to provide them with important dates, a copy of their contract, any inspection reports. Page 23 shows you important dates for buyers. These are dates that are happening during closing. And that's all in your timeline. Why are dates important?
So you don't miss any important things.
Deadlines. So you stay in contract,
Don't give anybody a reason to
cancel, not
Don't use your
originating.
earnest money.
Exactly. Okay. How do you leave a good impression? You want to leave a positive, lasting impression. How do you do that?
By doing everything you say you'll do.
True to your word.
Under promising and over delivering.
Absolutely. Setting clear expectations that you know you can meet and then exceeding them.
Oh, you sent her a text.
What else?
Oh, that's right.
Give the information they need when they need it.
Yeah.
Ask if you don't know the answer.
Okay.
Exactly. Agents have two agendas. One, to move the current transaction towards a successful closing, and two, to ensure referrals. Gary Keller says most agents don't get that. So remember at the very beginning we talked about, don't look at this as a single transaction. Look at this as a long-term relationship. Most clients over their lifetime will do between 7 and 10 real estate transactions. So if you start servicing them now, depending on where they are in their life, you have multiple transactions with that client as a potential, even if they leave the island. Because we're a very transient community, so we have a lot of people coming and going. Even if they leave, you can still refer them to agents in their market if they trust you and have a relationship with you. So it's important that you not only have strong lead generation to find the clients that you're going to work with, strong transaction skills for during the transaction, whether you're listing their property or representing them as a buyer, but post-closing. And I find that's where most agents drop the ball, is post-closing. They might be good the first month or the first couple months. The National Association of Realtors did a study. 9 months after the transaction, less than 10% of buyers can tell you what their realtor's name was. 9 months.
That's scary. That's amazing.
Now, and you've just helped them through one of life's biggest transactions that they'll do. 9 months, you were wonderful, you were in their life for 90 days, and 9 months out, they can't remember your name, unless you're staying in front of them. That's the biggest thing I can give you is post-closing. Really follow up with people.
So sorry, I have to leave, Michelle. This is really helpful.
Deb, I've had a great afternoon with you. Thanks for coming.
I'll be seeing you again, I know.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I'm a hugger.
Okay,
I'm a little hot and sweaty,
That's okay.
but we look forward to seeing you again. Okay. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Make sure you have post-closing systems, whatever that is. And they don't have to be expensive, but I have some clients that have November anniversaries coming up, and I was just in my database last night because all my stuff moved in. I have a client who bought a property from me in Kahului in 1998. And I went back into the tax records, they still own the property. So I'm gonna go visit them on their anniversary date. Happy 21st anniversary. Never thought you'd own this condo for 21 years. Sometimes I take a bottle of champagne. Sometimes I'll take homemade cookies. I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive, it's just acknowledgement. Sometimes I'll send them a card in the mail. I haven't seen her in probably 10 years. But I called her up and I was like, hey, we have drifted apart, I'd love to reconnect. And I just saw in my database that you still own the condo you bought. She's like, yeah, I've wondered over the years how things have been going. She left the island, had it rented for a long time, and now it's come back. And I said, I'd love to reconnect. And I have something for you for your 21st anniversary. She's like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So I'm gonna see her on Saturday. It doesn't have to be big. I usually call and let people know, hey, I just want to drop something off. It's your anniversary and I know how important buying your home was. And there's all sorts of things that you can get them. Try to be creative. Don't go with, I'm gonna go with the football schedule magnet that every other realtor does every football season. Differentiate yourself, be creative, and it doesn't have to be expensive. To make a lasting impression. People want to know that you care. That's all they want to know. Follow up with everyone, page 25. Closing should signal you to start your client on a 33-touch program immediately. If you haven't taken some of the classes to know what a 33-touch program, it is a system that Gary Keller developed that is where you touch your client 33 times over the course of a year. And that's like, and it says what you do at every step. So today you're gonna call them, and in 2 weeks you're gonna send them an email, and another week you're gonna send them a note card, and then you're gonna send them a newsletter. It says what you do, and you put everyone on the system. So post-closing, everyone 2 weeks out gets an email. 3 weeks out, everyone gets a handwritten note. 4 weeks out, they get a follow-up visit. You know, because now it's 30 days, they've been in their home. How's everything going? Do you have any needs? Have you had any surprises? So that you can make sure they're happy, they're satisfied customers. It's another opportunity every time you touch them or you're in front of them. Who do you know who also would like to be in a new home? Who could you refer to me? Who do you work with? Who do you paddle with? You know?
Seems like it opens the door to potential complaints at that moment too. Now they've
It
been there
does.
for a month, so then
Absolutely.
I would think they
But
would
don't you want to know about the
actually-
complaint and solve it?
Okay.
If they're like, oh, you know, we did our walkthrough, we thought everything was great, but once we got moved in, we found blah, blah, blah was wrong. Great, let me call my plumber to come out and take care of that for you.
But it's usually gonna be more like the neighbor's dogs keep us up, are barking all night long, or there's roosters, we can't sleep. You can't really fix that.
It depends on the association. If there's an association, you then can evaluate what the options are. There are some associations that you just call the management company and they'll come out, they'll trap the chickens and relocate them. Others are be like, that's your issue as an owner. It depends on what the issue is. Maui County does not have a noise ordinance, so you can't, it's not like at 10 o'clock it must be quiet. We are a rural community. So like you're right, some things might not be solvable. One of the things I encourage my clients to do during escrow is to go out different days of the week and different times of the week. So you've just signed a contract in this neighborhood while we're in that inspection period. Go out on a Saturday afternoon when everyone's home and they're washing their car and the kids are out so you can see what does a Saturday look like. You know, go out at 6 o'clock when everyone's home. Are there cars on the street? Maybe we were told the CCNRs don't allow you to park on the street, but there are clearly people parking on the street. You know, you can cure a lot of those issues by visiting different times of day and different days of the week. So encourage them to do that.
Okay. And you set them up with the right expectations.
Yeah.
So it's not a big surprise
It's
that
not,
that they
absolutely
get
not.
roosters.
Yeah. Or that they have multi-generational families living in a house next door.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about communication and being transparent, and I would want to know if there's a problem. Because if they're upset about something, they're going to go tell 100 people how upset they are. They bought this new house, and man, they had no idea, blah, blah, blah. I would at least want them to know that, A, thank you for sharing with me and letting me know what the issue is. I'm going to help you resolve this to the degree that I can. Similar to our exercise at the beginning of this class when you were saying, well, I can't move forward because of this and this and this and this. Okay, well, let's write it down on a list. We're going to review it at the end of class. I'm going to take it away, and I'm going to see what I have the capacity to resolve for you. I'm going to do the same thing with my clients. Did I want to hear that you're having challenges? No. But do I want to know you're having challenges? Yes. Otherwise, you're going to walk away, I'm so frustrated, I can't get started, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know who to go to. I would rather call you back and be like, hey, Terry, okay, item 1, I'm sending you an email right now, and this is what the resolution. Item 2, because then you know someone heard you, someone cares, someone's making an effort. Sometimes it's all people want,
Yeah.
is to be heard and to know you're doing something, even if you can't fix it 100%.
Good.
Yeah. All right, call your new past clients. Buyers and sellers you just closed are now members of the special club that you host. Get that new phase of your relationship started with a personal call to them within 1 to 2 weeks after closing to see how they're doing in the next phase of their lives, to thank them again for their business, and there's your opportunity to ask them for referrals. NAR on the bottom of page 25 says, NAR reports 88% of clients said they would use the real estate agent again, but only 12% do. 88% will use the same agent. We liked our agent, they were good, but only 12% do.
We don't remember.
And that gap is lack of staying in touch, lack of nurturing a relationship, lack of follow-up communication. 70%, 6% lose touch with their past clients. Why would you do that? They already know you and love you. They're already going to give you referrals. They're already going to do repeat business. They're going to, tell their friends how happy they are. You want to keep that relationship. There's a customer satisfaction survey. You can choose to implement a survey or not. You do want to implement a customer service focus, and that's on page 27. You want to ask for feedback from all parties involved in the transaction. You want to send them a handwritten note as well as a gift. They will remember you for referrals in future business, and they give you some ideas of things you can do for gifts. Include several business cards in everything you do. One for the client to keep and a few more to hand out to friends and family. I say that till I'm blue in the face. I put that in every card I send. There's 3 business cards in every card I send. In every gift I give, there's 3 business cards. And I have clients who say, Michelle, you've sent me 18 notes and I have, 40 of your cards. And I'm like, well, then you're not giving them out to your friends and your family. Shame on you. Or I got your card, it's laminated in my wallet, don't worry. Well, that's okay. I want to ensure you are never without my contact information. You are so important to me, I don't want you to ever not be able to reach me. Is my app on your phone? Oh, let me text that to you now. I stack it.
Okay.
And you do it and you say it and you say it until someone says, don't do this. Don't call me, don't send me any more cards. There are a few clients that have said, I have enough business cards, I've got your number, and they refer me clients all the time. And I'm like, great, but if you need more cards, let me know. I'll drop off a set of 10. They're just like, she's on her game, and that's what they tell their friends. You want to work with her because she's on her game. And I'm just like, thank you. That's a great compliment, thank you. All right, page 28, your turn, tokens of appreciation. Write thank you gift ideas. In the space provided below, write as many thank you gift ideas as you can. Be creative, they do not have to cost very much at all. So is your page pre-printed there, or do you have blanks to fill in?
It's pre-printed.
Oh, well, shame on them. They shouldn't have given you all the answers. Sounds like we printed the instructor version for her. She's got all the,
No, that was the only one, that's why I'm telling them that for whatever reason, the student manual is not available online.
oh, okay. Well, let's just talk about what some ideas are.
Cleaning lady one time?
Yeah, cleaning lady one line is a great idea. Terry?
This says, return address labels with just moved postcards.
Yeah,
Pre-printed. The client's new address.
yeah,
A history book of the town or region.
yeah,
A book of referrals for local businesses.
yes. So you can have the people that you refer, your plumber, your electrician, your handyman, your landscaper, and put them into like a rack card, and you can provide them that
Yeah.
as your preferred resources.
This is a creative one, a housewarming party, offer to do the cooking.
I have done that many times.
Really?
It's easy.
Okay.
My best friend's a private.
That's a great idea, but I'll tell you what I do, which is super easy. I either do omelets where I'm in their kitchen with my little apron on, and I'll do custom made to order omelets, and we'll have oven baked potatoes out and sliced fruit and juices, and we're in pot of rice, and we're good to go. And people, that's it. So what do you want in your omelet? Oh, how do you know Susie and John? Da-da-da. And just, you know, you're not there to talk about real estate. If someone brings it up, I say, you know, I'm so glad you asked, because I really want to share with you how you can move forward in buying your first home. However, today is John and Susie's day. We're celebrating their new home. So why don't you do this? Why don't you give me your name and number? Here's a pad of paper right here. Just jot down your information, and I'll give you a call this week. Let's focus and celebrate for them today. Because I'm not there to sell their friends and family. I'm there as a housewarming party. But I tell them, invite 20, 25 people. I've done omelets in the kitchen. I've done waffle parties where I, the night before at home, make fresh whipped cream and flavored butter, and I bring a couple different syrups, and I have a waffle machine, and I just sit there and make waffles. And I made waffles maybe 5 or 6 before people start arriving, and then I just keep making waffles.
So you're busy, you're of service. You're not,
I'm in the kitchen.
you're not acting like you're trying to be there to garner up business.
I'm in the kitchen
Mhm.
because Susie and John are gonna be like, oh my God, who do you know, who's what realtor do you know is gonna come cook you and your friends breakfast? Michelle's so awesome. You know, we looked at 25 homes before we found the right home. You have to work with, they're gonna do it for you.
It's brilliant.
And then people come in and they're like, oh my God, you're like making breakfast for all these
It's
people?
brilliant.
So, breakfast sausage and bacon in the oven. You can cook 2 full pans in the oven. Cook one before people arrive, cook another one there. You can do omelets or waffles very easy with fresh fruit. And the accompaniments, like when I did an omelet bar, I had like shredded cheese, chopped green onions, tomatoes. I had like little cocktail shrimp, chicken, and I'm like spinach. I had 6 or 8 things. Pick what you want, put it in the bowl, give me the bowl, I'll make your omelet. They're getting their meat, they're getting their potatoes, some rice, some fresh fruit. We've got juice out, bottled water. It's done.
And the buyers are doing your bidding, basically.
The buyers are talking you up.
Yeah.
Look, oh, let me give you the tour. And they're showing everyone around, you know. Oh my God, can you lose? Has your realtor cooked breakfast for you in your new house? Da-da-da. At the end, you clean up and it's done. It costs me about 50 to 60 bucks to do breakfast or brunch. I do a Sunday morning, 10:30 or 11 for 90 minutes for them, friends and family. I cook for 90 minutes. At the end of the 90 minutes, so if I do like a 10:30 to noon, at noon I'm done, I'm cleaning up, I leave everything, all the food, if they want the food out, otherwise we pack the food away. It's done. It's easy, it's inexpensive, it's memorable, and I never leave without leads. For me, it's better than an open house
Right,
because they're hot leads.
right.
The buyers are happy and they have their friends and family. And they're so proud, they're showing off their new place. they're eating, we brew coffee ahead of time. Sometimes I'll just stop at Starbucks and buy one of those pre-done Starbucks gallon of coffee. I'll get 1 or 2 of those, some juice. Costco's great. They don't, I make sure the day before that they have everything. You have serving pieces. Do you have an omelet pan? If not, I bring an omelet pan. I'll bring a flipper. I'll bring a food warmer. I'll bring a waffle maker. It's easy. It's low cost. It's very memorable. They love it. They'll take pictures. Can I post on Facebook? Yes. Post on Facebook. Of them and their friends at their waffle party. It's easy. I've done Sundays, like on a Saturday afternoon ice cream social. I had someone else, they loved ice cream, so we did ice cream Sundays. And people came over at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and we just had all the fixings for Sundays. All I did was scoop ice cream. Do you want vanilla or chocolate? Okay, here's all the mix-ins. There's that here. Whipped cream? No whipped cream. Easy.
Right.
And it's custom whatever that client like. I've done a few that I've catered, but not a lot. Ironically, my highest end clients are the lowest maintenance in what they want. They're like, can we just have wine and poo-poos? I'll invite 20 people over and we'll sit out on the line and have wine and poo-poos. They're like, just come over and enjoy poo-poos with us. We don't need to cook food.
And you tend to offer this to people that you really there was a good connection, and you wouldn't offer it to everybody.
I don't offer it to everyone.
No, just.
I customize a closing gift to everyone.
Okay.
If I have really difficult people who I didn't really connect with and
You're
I
not
don't
gonna
really
share a meal
love,
with them.
I'm not gonna go cook them breakfast in their house. I might buy them a gift basket.
Right.
I might buy them wine glasses from Tiffany's and have it delivered. I might not even bring it myself.
Got it.
I will send them something.
Mm-hmm.
The most expensive thing I bought was a $1,000 gas grill.
Must have been a nice house.
$750,000.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a huge house. It was upper middle age. So, you just figure out what works for you. And I always kind of look at my commission, how much do I want to spend? Typically, I try to keep it at about 1%. I try not to exceed 1%. So if I had a $15,000 commission on a $500,000 sale, that's a $15,000 commission gross on your split. 70% of that, you'd make, what's 70% of 15,000? $12,000. 10% is $1,200, 1% is $120. So on a $500,000 sale, I'd spend about $125. And I can do a waffle party for half of that.
Right. With twice
And most
the
people
impact.
love that, and it's lead generating for me. It's better for me than it is for them, but they feel it's for them.
Right.
And all their friends are like, I want to buy a house, and I want her to come cook breakfast in my house for my family. And, and clean up. You put the dishes in the dishwasher and start the dishwasher. You wipe off the counters, it's not a big deal.
Right.
It's a brand new house, it's clean, it's uncluttered. It's the perfect time.
Okay.
I try to do it within the first 2 to 3 weeks. And depending on the culture and stuff, will dictate if I do it or not. So I just had a closing with a local Hawaiian family from Hana. They bought here in Central. And they weren't into breakfast, but they're like, oh, but we'd love to go out to dinner with you. So I'm taking the husband and wife to dinner with the family member who referred them to me. And the 4 of us are gonna go to dinner at like Cafe Olay or something, which will be $150. So I always try to keep it in that 1%. So that you're not overspending, you're staying within your MREA models, your budget, what you're thinking of. Okay, get paid, page 29. Most real estate commissions have rules that require files to be turned into their broker, and we are one of those. Your broker must review your file, that all of the documents are there, all the signatures and initials are in place, and sign off on your file before you receive your commission. They're transitioning from a green sheet. Now it's not a green sheet, it's a opportunity within Command. So that's where you would load in. And this material has not been updated with the Command references yet. but I'm
Right.
sharing with you it is an opportunity within Command. Are you prepared for contract to close? You know, you want to add your client to your contact database, which you should have done in the beginning, not at closing, but if you haven't done it, do it now. You want to add any resources you've used. Maybe you have a new lender you're working with or a new escrow agent. Maybe you always use Fidelity and use Pam downstairs, but they hired a new girl and now you're using Lynette. You're going to add her to your database as a resource. Any business-to-business resources. Maybe you had the house painted and you have a new painter you haven't dealt with and he had a great experience. You're going to add him as a resource to your database so the next time you need a painter, hey, I might call him first.
Do you send these people like your drip campaign stuff as well?
Not typically. I don't typically put them on a drip campaign. I do reach out to them on a regular basis because if I give you business, I have an expectation that you're gonna give me business back. So I might call them and be like, man, you did such a great job on that. Could you drop a few business cards by my office? And the next time I have a need for a painter, I can recommend you as one of the 3 painters that I suggest my clients get a quote from. And by the way, I'm gonna leave you some cards. I don't know who you have relationships with because I know you know a lot of realtors, but I felt like we had a great working relationship. I'd love to work with you again. I'd be very happy to service your clients. So if you are called to paint a home, because you know they're gonna put that home on the market, before they've retained a realtor, I'd really appreciate it if you provided them with my card and my information. That's how they can give me business, because they're gonna interact with sellers before I know they're sellers.
But they also might be a buyer or a seller.
They might be.
Right.
I asked them in the interaction at the property, do you own? Do you own or you rent? How long have you lived here? Would you like to own? Sometimes they say, why not?
Is your area, I forgot, is it upcountry?
I work everywhere I have a client with a need.
Is your commercial? Okay.
I do commercial 50%, luxury 50%.
So luxury puts you on south side?
No, it's anywhere it's over $1.5 million.
Okay, I guess what I'm getting at is, do you share your resource, your business-to-business resource list?
With
People?
sometimes,
Okay,
depending on what their needs are.
okay.
And if they're nice people and I want to share, sure, sometimes.
I'm just sure you set a high bar for whoever you would recommend. And
Yes.
so they've already been pre-vetted and
Yes.
rather than recreating the
Yes,
wheel, I would
absolutely.
be interested in your contacts.
Okay. Well, we can discuss that.
Okay.
Let me know what kind of resources you're looking for and I can kind of give you what I have. All right, you want to identify a calendar system with reminder capabilities, which is your command system. If you're using the functionality in command, once you get to closing, you're going to want to put them on a drip system where you're touching them post-closing on a 33 touch. You want to leverage your resources by working with either your coach, ALC members, your market center administrator, your mentor, or anyone else in the office. Okay, putting it all together. Coming out of this class, you should have an action plan on what you need to do. And your action plan is when you open escrow, you create a timeline. And your timeline is gonna designate when things have to happen so you can schedule them, correct? You're gonna prepare for your final Ignite class. This is the next to last class. You have one more Ignite, which is the blast off, which is with Marion later this week. And you're gonna recall and remember. You wanna make sure in your next class you bring your phone or your laptop and your database. And let's see if there's anything else on your final Ignite class. You wanna continue doing the daily 10-4. Now we're on recall and remember, page 33. What is the 4-step process outlined in the chapter to have a successful closing? It says know the process. I say have a process. You want to work your plan because you have systems in place. You want to seize all your opportunities and you want to get paid. That's your 4-step process. In the contract to close process, what step is the offer acceptance? And why is this important? But it says what step is after offer acceptance?
Clear title.
Clear title. You want to make sure you get the preliminary title report. You want to review it. If you're reviewing it for the first time and you don't understand what you're looking at, or you have a question, go to your escrow agent. They're going to send it to you via email, but call them up. Hey Pam, I'm looking at page 3. It says blah, blah, blah. I don't know what that means. They're going to tell you what it means. And sometimes I'm like, is that a problem? It says, and I read it to them, so what does that mean for me? You know, and they'll be like, oh, you just have to deal with that, or oh, that's a deal stopper. Like, they'll tell you right then. They are the experts in that area, so let them help you. Why is closing a good time to ask for referrals and testimonials? It is the happiest your clients are ever going to be. There's no happier moment for them than closing, right? They've reached the outcome they desired. Who are your resources in the Market Center? Well, your productivity coach, which if you're working with her, maybe Nicole or Dan, the ALC members. There's a shelf around the corner that has all the ALC members on it. They have different areas of responsibility or specialties. I'm one of the ALC members. My picture's there. You can always call me. It doesn't have to be about commercial. It can be about anything. The team leader, which is Lisa, can help you. Everyone is here to help you. How many contacts in your EH database by the end of Ignite? Well, I'm going to change that to in your command database. You should have 200 new or more of existing mets. These are people that you have met and have put into your database. This isn't my kids in the soccer club and here's the parent list and I've never met or talked to any of these people, but I put them in my database. That doesn't count. They're good people to put in, but they're cold leads. You want to put in people you've met. How many contacts do you have today?
Over 500.
Awesome. Great. Your goal should be 200. So you're a little bit behind, but you can get caught up. Okay, let's see here. Ahas to achievement. What were your ahas today? Tell me one thing you learned today that you didn't know when you walked in the room. Just one thing.
Touch on the lender and the closing people every week.
Yes. Awesome observation. Communication, regular, consistent, systematic communication.
Make sure the phone.
Keep that deal on track.
I really liked this.
Oh, the flow
The
chart.
visual.
The visual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
we're,
really helpful.
for me, I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
I'm tactile. Like, you tell me it's online, that doesn't help me. I have to print it out, I have to highlight it and make notes and touch it. I'm very visual and tactile. So, yeah, not everyone learns the same. Remember that when you're dealing with your clients. Not everyone receives information the